And he first identified the chemical composition of blood and performed the first intravenous fluid therapy in 1830. He saved cholera victims through this analysis of blood in healthy people as compared with people that died from cholera, and figured out what the difference was, and gave the first electrolytes by vein and saved cholera victims. That led to his getting a contract with the British East India Company, and he was sent to India to try to cope with their chronic cholera epidemic problems. And after that wasn't an issue anymore, he moved on to these other studies of chemistry and electricity. He left flats in Paris to his second wife and daughters, two daughters, one of which married the director of the Indian Telegraphy Service that succeeded him when he resigned. And I've been looking for his personal papers throughout Ireland and England. And I'll continue to follow this biographic research. But he was a larger-than-life person that didn't hesitate to be controversial and got his way. Yeah, he single-handedly said, I want to string the telegraph to all the administrative centers, and convinced the leadership to Lord Dalhousie to let him do this. And it was really part of the modernization of India, and one of the positive things that the British left behind. But O'Shaughnessy would approach the problem and analyzed it and figured out his own solution and worked at making it come true. And I'm trying to do a similar thing with the Medical Cannabis Association here in California, which is a trade organization which I've helped to found and continue to participate in, even in these difficult conditions. But hey, what an adventure. It continues. And I'm in what I love being. I feel very much at home in the Bay Area, the innovation capital of America. And for you interesting people in the Midwest, nice place to come and visit, maybe even live. But you boring people, you narrow-minded people, don't think very much of California. Just stay back there. Or else go to Southern California.
Terence Hallinan is the most uncorrupted person in political office today. There is no love or money that can ever erode his idea of ethics and morality under any circumstances. My friend,
thank you, Mike. After an introduction like that, I should probably just keep my mouth shut. It's a little bit like the case that we just wound up down in Los Angeles with the killer dog that we had such a great success on. And after that, I sometimes feel, well, geez, where am I going from here? It's hard to do better than that. And by the way, I'd like to introduce the chief of my homicide division, Jim Hammer, who tried successfully. And a person who is not only a great prosecutor, but a great guy, and I think it's significant. He wanted to come here with me and participate in the deliberations of the National Organization for the Reform of the Marijuana Laws. And as the Chief Law Enforcement Officer for the City and County of San Francisco, I must say that it gives me great pleasure to welcome the delegates of the National Organization for the Reform of the Marijuana Laws to the City and County of San Francisco. And I think it's appropriate that you be meeting here in San Francisco, a city with the reputation that it has well earned. The city, the second chance city I like to think of San Francisco as, that this is a city that believes in giving people second chances. This is a city that has always represented freedom, that has always been a city built by people who came out here to look for gold, to build railroads, to do adventurous things. And San Francisco, I think, of any city in America, is the appropriate place for people who believe in the repeal of the laws of prohibition against marijuana, coming here and convening here and meeting here, because this is a city which on 2 occasions has voted by 80% in favor of legalizing medical marijuana. As Mike pointed out to you, my own background is really very wrapped up with marijuana in a lot of ways that people don't think of a district attorney as being. But I first was admitted to the bar by, Mark pointed out, as a result of a Supreme Court decision ordering the state bar to admit me at the end of 1966. And of course, the first year that I started practicing was the Summer of Love. And my office was deeply involved in what was going on in the Haight-Ashbury district, where by the way, I still live. And Mike and myself and the other lawyers in the office were all concerned with what was going on. It was an exciting, wonderful time to be alive, but it also was a dangerous time. That is to say, it was a time in which possession of 1 seed of marijuana was a felony, in which literally thousands of people were going to prison. I'm not talking jail. Were going to prison for simple possession of marijuana in California, when the tactical squad was running rampant up Haight Street and beating and arresting people who they suspected were in possession of marijuana. Well, that was going on in San Francisco, but San Francisco, as one would expect, was a city that also resisted that. Mike and I were members of probably the greatest defense bar in the United States of America, if not the world. Really, San Francisco. Now that I'm on the other side of the aisle, I tell you, you got to appreciate this defense bar in San Francisco. They really make your job tough when you're a prosecutor, but it's a bar that won't tolerate repression, won't tolerate unfairness, and does whatever they are able to preserve the rights of individuals before our courts. And whether I'm a